Dear shareholders, it is with great pleasure I welcome you to this 8th annual general meeting of your company. The director's report and also the audited accounts of the company for the year ended 30th June 1977 have been with you for some weeks, and with your permission I take them as read. At the outset, it is my painful duty to refer to the untimely demise of President of India. In him, the country has lost a great patriot who had rendered yeoman service to the nation. A dramatic change in the political history took place in our country just before the close of the year under review. The new government had taken up in right earnest steps to remove the obstacles in the way of economic growth, and one hopes that the whole country will unite behind them in this effort. The power crisis in Karnataka has affected the industrial activity in the state, causing serious loss of production of crores of rupees per month. All industries are severely affected and many of them are about to close. The state has been passing through a power crisis during the last few years, but the same has developed into such a dangerous proportion that the demand is at least 3 times higher than the generation. The power cut presently at 50% more or less would be likely to remain at least at 40% for another couple of years more. The power generation has also been constantly slowed down. Further, new loans are being sanctioned at the cost of existing units. Of all the economic problem normally a government faces, inflation is the most pressing one. But today it is very different from the one that was prevailing in the early 70s, since now we have abundant stocks but no means to buy. We have 25 million tons of food grains, but the poor remain hungry and have no income to buy the extra food they need. Millions of meters of controlled cloth remain unsold even at a low price for want of necessary fund. Even in the case of steel, the domestic consumption is today no higher than the earlier years, and we have huge unsold stock. The Steel and Mines Ministries stand that the low offtake of steel products during the past 2 years cannot be a reason for going slow with the expansion capacity will be widely endorsed. The important point is that whether the ministry succeeds in expansion or not, it has not been deterred by the accumulation of stocks and adopts a bold and forward looking approach. Obviously, when such a large quantity remains unsold, the industry's financial position, which is not particularly strong, gets affected further because of the locking up of the money, but as the ministry has rightly pointed, the solution to the problem lies not in deceleration of the pace of expansion, but in stimulating the demand for steel. I may mention here some of the measures which will help to increase the offtake of steel, which are within the competence of the ministry. An amendment to the Urban Land Ceiling and Regulation Act is necessary for the purpose of reviving house building activity, which will lead to a greater offtake of steel. Allocation of larger funds for various public housing programs will also stimulate the demand and utilization of steel. The union government is evolving some fresh guidelines which are meant to improve the group housing societies. In this connection, Industrial Credit and Investment Corporation of India Limited also has plans to set up a subsidiary to promote good housing activities. The per capita in consumption of steel in this industry is around 12 kg, which is amongst the lowest in the world. This should be raised if India's industrial development is to be meaningful. Unfortunately, the scope for reducing the price of mass consumption of goods to stimulate the demand of steel is limited. Government subsidies to a large extent in regard to food grains to check inflation in food prices. On the other hand, the burden of raising cost of input imposed by the government increases the cost of production. Dear sirs, we regret to inform you that the consignment of fruits shipped to us by your principals has arrived in a badly damaged condition and is quite unfit for sale. We have asked your representative to inspect the boxes, and after his inspection, we will arrange for the whole consignment to be sold by auction at waste prices. We have opened a few boxes and find that the fruit is in poor condition throughout. About this time last year and the year before that, we remember we had the same trouble with a consignment received from the same growers. We therefore feel certain that it is type of fruit that is at fault. Probably it becomes too ripe and unsafe to travel safely after Christmas. This misfortune leaves us without a regular stream of supply of these fruits for sale to our customers, who have made it clear to us that we cannot retain their patronage unless we can assure regular deliveries of such fruits of the season in good condition. We have thus had to make arrangements for a special supply to be sent from Punjab. This is a serious inconvenience to us, and we hope that in the circumstances you may please immediately forward us another consignment in accordance with the enclosed order. Please let us know the earliest possible time we can expect to receive the fruit. To hasten matters, we can, if required, send 3 lorries tomorrow night to fetch some of the boxes so that we can deal with them early the following morning. But if we would particularly like the apples to be properly wrapped in paper before they are being packed inside the boxes in order to prevent them from being jammed in transit. Expecting an early reply from you, yours faithfully.